Welcome to Movie Magic 96, your one-stop shop for all things movies. From reviews, unboxings, and collections, I'm here to celebrate the magic of cinema. Now, let's roll the film. Today we're diving into my favorite decade across all media. From music, fashion, TV shows, and movies, we're talking about the 90s. With classic action, horror, comedies, and more, this video won't disappoint. So come check out this video, it's sure to be fly. Starting off with 1990, and we have Cry Baby with Johnny Depp. And just speaking of John Waters for a minute, he kind of had a big, a little run with Hairspray, Cry Baby, obviously two musicals back to back, and then who remembers Serial Mom, that that slasher movie. Great film, and he's sort of a jack of all trades. You know, he'll write, he'll direct, he'll produce, he'll edit, and yeah. All right, next up we have Back to the Future Part 3. And for me, I don't think there's a bad movie in this trilogy. I think that a lot of people love 2 because of the futuristic aspect of it and going back to the original film. But 3 is just as good. I really enjoy the film. I really enjoy that Doc gets his chance to find love with Mary Steenburgen. Sorry, I always pronounce her name wrong. And still a solid film, just an amazing franchise. And now we have Die Hard 2, Die Harder. And I don't know why, I always thought that was like the tagline, not the actual name of the film, which is pretty crazy, but and very cheesy in 90s and stuff like that, but still a great film. And Rennie Harlin was the It director at the time. Who remembers he married Gina Davis for like a couple years, but of course he had Nightmare on Elm Street 4, he had Cliffhanger, Deep Blue Sea, and unfortunately now he's got the new Strangers Chapter 1, 2, and 3 trilogy, but Die Hard 2. Here's something that's going to blow your mind when I was researching this video. Goodfellas cost $25 million to make, and it only got $47 million in return, which is absolutely insane. Some people say it's the best mob film of all time, and obviously I would not argue with that, although I would pick The Godfather. But it's insane when a movie needs to make twice its budget to with marketing and everything to get its money back, and to think that this movie, which is so widely known as just an incredible film, quite possibly didn't turn a profit. So that's crazy when I saw that. Now we're going to probably the best film in the Chucky franchise for me, and that is Child's Play 2. And just with the addition of Christine Elisa's Kyle, that toy factory sequence at the end, it's just such a great film, and I understand why people like this one more than the original. The original builds a lot of suspense. Is it really the doll that's alive? And it's sort of the POV shots and stuff, but it takes a while to get going, so I can understand why 2 is so beloved. It just kind of ramps up and gets ready to go. We have It 1990 is what I always refer to it as. I always found it strange that they called this a mini series. Obviously it's only right there. Obviously it's only 2 episodes, I guess you can call it, but I don't know why they didn't just call it a TV movie. But such a great film. Tim Curry's so iconic, his performance, and I love his outfit as well. I did enjoy the new one, but I think this one really has the magic. But speaking of Tim Curry, for me growing up, besides this film, he had Home Alone 2, he had Scary Movie 2, and again, just so scary, such a scary film. We have Misery, and Kino Lorber knocked it out of the park with this 4K. It looks absolutely stunning with those winter scenes. And of course, Kathy Bates won her Oscar for this film. And actually pretty interesting, this is the only Stephen King adaptation film to win an Oscar. You think of obviously all the other ones like The Shining and stuff, and you're like, wow, this is the only one that won it. But director Rob Reiner had a great string of movies with Stand By Me, Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, then Misery, and then I think A Few Good Men. But he really had a great streak of movies in that time. We do have Edward Scissorhands releasing in December, which is probably the perfect time for this film. I do think it is the best collaboration between Depp and Tim Burton. I just love the contrast of the beautiful colors of the town, and then you go up to Edward's house, which is obviously on the top of a hill and dark and all that stuff. But it's really just the golden rule. It's just treat others the way you want to be treated. What we learned when we were little kids. kids. And yeah, I mean, I get so sad with how they treat Edward, and of course Winona is so nice, but the ending is still sad. It's a great film, and of course Vincent Price is in the film as well as the inventor. Um, who else? Diane West from The Lost Boys and Footloose, and yeah, just a great film, and obviously reminds me of Frankenstein and stuff, but classic. First up for 1991 is The Silence of the Lambs, and I gotta know real quick in the comments section, is this the best performance in a horror movie by Sir Anthony Hopkins as Dr. Hannibal Lecter? I think so, but let me know if I forgot something down low. It's funny, speaking of Hannibal Lecter, I mean, he's really not the main bad guy in the film. That's really Buffalo Bill. Ted Levine has another great performance in here as well. And again, such an amazing classic film, probably the best horror film of the 90s. Obviously, Scream is up there as well. She's Not My Mother, Todd. And of course, we have Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And for me, I think this is the best action film of the 90s. It's also the highest grossing film of the year. But this is just a horrible, one of the worst, if not the worst, 4K transfer of all time. And I wish they would fix that at some point. But yeah, I mean, the CGI is great. It's insane. Again, 1991 it came out, and the CGI still holds up. It's so innovative and phenomenal. Now, being born in 1996, I actually didn't see Point Break before I saw The Fast and Furious, which is insane because The Fast and Furious really, ripped off everything from this film. I wish I would have been able to see Point Break first, but, Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze, such a great movie, bank heist movie. Got the President's robber masks on there as well. And don't watch they did a remake in 2015. It was absolutely horrible. I really, off the top of my head, can't name anyone in that film, but go back and watch the original and enjoy it. We're diving back into the Chucky box set, but this time we're going to Child's Play 3. And, not my favorite of the franchise. I don't dislike it. I think it's okay. Of course, they had to change up Alex Vincent with a different actor. He was probably 10 years old at the time, so I can understand them wanting to do a different role for him, being in Child's Play 1 and 2. And shout out to Alex Vincent. He's actually born and raised in New Jersey. And I like the carnival scene at the end. I know it doesn't really fit at all with the the military setting, but it's an okay film. It kind of gets lost with the first two, and Bride of Chucky probably being my top 3 favorite, but I go back to it every now and then. Now we have A Tale as Old as Time in this beautiful slipcover with Beauty and the Beast 25th Anniversary Edition. And of course, you've got Angela Lansbury as Mrs. Potts, and she sings the title track beautifully, which is probably my favorite song from the film. This is my mom's favorite princess and Disney movie. And Belle is just... the actress who played her, Paige O'Hara, she's a real life queen. Has an amazing voice. She's articulate. She absolutely kills it in this role, and just a great story to fall in love with someone on what's on their inside and not on their out. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Now we have The Addams Family, and of course we've got the More Mamushka edition on 4K, and this is a very good 4K transfer. It's pretty insane at the time that the TV show would have came out in like 64, and then this would have came out in 91, and not too many remakes at the time before the big remake craze. Of course, we got Angelica Houston, who was phenomenal with her casting, and Christina Ricci was great as well as Wednesday. But yeah, great film. It's Wayne's World, party time, excellent, woo woo woo. That's right, we got Wayne's World from 1992, actually releasing on Valentine's Day. And of course, we have probably the best SNL sketch turned into a movie, and the beautiful Cassandra, who's played by Tia Carrere. And, just so quotable. Is it possible the two Utes, the two what? The two Utes? What is a Ute? Oh, excuse me, Your Honor. Two youths. That's right, we were talking about My Cousin Vinny. Of course, Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei, just two great roles that they played. And then we have the Karate Kid right there, Ralph Macchio. and Herman Munster as Fred Gwynn. And how do we not have this on 4K? We need more comedies on 4K. It would look so great. The red car and the courtroom scene as well. We have the much darker sequel from Batman 89, and that is Batman Returns. And of course, we've got Michelle Pfeiffer and Danny DeVito as Oswald Cobblepot and Selena Kyle, aka the Penguin and Catwoman. And this one looked amazing on 4K. I was so happy with the transfer. What else is there to say about Batman Returns? Very weirdly, it came out in, I think, June, which is strange because it obviously takes place during Christmas. But I've really enjoyed this film. Maybe not as much as the original because Joker is so iconic, but still, the first two are the best out of this set of four. My favorite Quentin Tarantino movie right here, and that is Reservoir Dogs with this gorgeous red slipcover. And I think the 4K was pretty good. I don't remember it being like insanely amazing, but I definitely remember it being good. And look at the disc, that's amazing. Drop in the comments below, who is your favorite of the cast? Mr. White, Mr. Orange, Mr. Pink. For me, it's probably Mr. Blonde, which would be Michael Madsen. Now we have another mini-series that aired on CBS. It was actually 4 episodes long and 60 minutes apiece, so you got a lot of time to flesh out Sinatra's story. You got Sinatra right there in the bottom corner, and yeah, basically this guy right here, Philip Kasnoff, I think his name was. He did a really good job. I can't really, and you can see it's on 2 discs. I can't really. I don't know anything else that he's been in, but he did a really good job, and this was a pretty good mini-series of Old Blue Eyes. Now we've got Aladdin, and wow, this is a beautiful slipcover with all those gorgeous colors that shimmer in the light. This thing I've been watching since VHS, and it is probably my second favorite Disney animated or just Disney movie of all time, The Lion King being at number 1. And of course, the speaking voice is Scott Weiner, which is Steve from Full House. And yeah, I mean, Robin Williams' performance as the genie, his fast comedy lends so well to this sort of animation, and he could also be one of my favorite characters. Now we have my favorite Dracula story or vampire story overall, and that is Bram Stoker's Dracula. And look at this gorgeous steelbook of the original theatrical artwork. I'll go ahead and show the discs as well. But of course, you've got so many great performances with Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, Anthony Hopkins, pretty much everybody besides Keanu Reeves. I love you, Keanu, but that accent was brutal to listen to, but a really, really, really good film. Here's another one we need on 4K, and that is Home Alone 2. That beautiful New York setting would look great with the HDR and addition of a new 4K transfer. But I got this slipcover right here, and of course, we've got, Joe Pesci, Macaulay Culkin. And, a lot of people like this one more than the original. I'm not one of them, but, you got a great direction by, great script by John Hughes, direction by Chris Columbus, and, yeah. We have a pretty underrated romantic comedy in Benny and June. Johnny Depp plays a great Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin inspired role. What else? The song 500 Miles was in here. That was a great song. And actually, fun story. Winona Ryder was supposed to play June, but then they broke up. So what could have been, right? Next up, we have Cliffhanger, and I've got this gorgeous 4K steelbook. This, to me, is probably Stallone's best 90s movie. I know some people would say Demolition Man, but, of course, you got John Lithgow as the villain, Michael Rooker, and it's essentially just Die Hard on a Mountain, but a really good film and a different sort of role for Stallone, where he didn't have to be too serious. You literally can't talk about the decade, the 90s, without Jurassic Park. It's honestly synonymous. And, such a great cast. We got Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Sam Jackson, and Wayne Knight. But such a phenomenal film and a pretty good transfer. Not amazing, as I remember, but pretty good 4K transfer. Probably a perfect example of a cult classic hit. When this came out in 93, it didn't even make its money back at the box office, and now it's a whole section at Spirit Halloween. It's a whole the witches host the parties at the Not So Scary Halloween parties at Disney World, and it's just really taken its life of its own. Now, with The Nightmare Before Christmas, Touchstone Pictures actually released it. I guess Disney either thought it was too scary for kids or didn't have enough faith in it. But and then another common misconception is that Tim Burton directed it, but he did not. He was too busy with Batman Returns. So Henry Selick directed it, and you would know Henry Selick from Coraline, and so he's definitely a fan of stop motion. I think he did James and the Giant Peach as well. We're diving back into my Blu-ray double pack for Wayne's World 2, and not as good as the original, but still a great supporting cast. You got Christopher Walken, James Hong, Kim Basinger, Chris Farley, Ed O'Neill, and yeah, so still a good film. And now we have What's Eating Gilbert Grape, and such great performances from Johnny Depp and especially Leonardo DiCaprio, who should have won an Academy Award or something for his performance. But even the mom, even who played Bonnie Grape, I think it was her only acting role. She did a great job as well. My Batman the Animated Series box set, and of course we have to talk about Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So let me pull that out real quick. And let me tell you something, nobody saw this in the theaters. It was pretty underrated at the time, but it has gone back, and we have gone back and enjoyed it ever since. I just think the world wasn't ready for it. I mean, the Batman the Animated Series was done so well, and this sort of capped off the end of that until they started the new Adventures of Batman. I forget what it was called specifically, but a really great animated film. We have maybe the second best or your personal favorite action movie from the 90s, and that is Speed, and such great performances by Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. But this one, I'm so surprised that we have a 4K, just because Disney owns the rights to it, and they don't release as much new releases in 4K and stuff on physical media. That's not like a Disney animated film. But tell me in the comments below, is Speed 2 good? I've actually never seen it. I don't want to taint the legacy of this one, but I know Jason Patrick is in it, and I think Willem Dafoe's in it as well. So at some point I'll get around to watching it, but people do say it's good, so I'll have to check it out. No debate, this is the greatest animated film of all time, not just beholden to Disney, and of course that is The Lion King from 1994, and just the voice cast was amazing. Matthew Broderick, James Earl Jones, Nathan Lane, Rowan Atkinson. And I love this film. I love this release because it comes with a film strip. Really cool. I don't know if you'll be able to see it through here. Probably not. But yeah, so got the Blu-ray right here. And I'd love to own it on 4K one day. So if anyone knows if the 4K transfer is a lot better than the Blu-ray, go ahead and drop that in the comments down below. One of the best films of all times, and that, of course, is Forrest Gump, because life is like a box of chocolates, and you never know what you're going to get. And as you can see, it won Best Picture at the Academy Awards that year, but there were a lot of good other films, Pulp Fiction, and what was the other one? Shawshank Redemption. So yeah, I would put Forrest Gump to win that Best Picture, but let me know if you would pick something else. Now we have True Lies on 4K, and such a weird marketing strategy that The Abyss and Aliens came out the exact same day. I don't know. This one was probably the worst transfer, 4K transfer. It's really strange. We didn't even have a Blu-ray at the time. It went from stuck on DVD to 4K. But I don't own Aliens or The Abyss, but I've heard that those are a little bit better than this one, which was a little bit DNR'd. And unfortunately, as good as a director as James Cameron is, he definitely has he's notorious for messing up some of his transfers, along with Terminator 2. Now we have Leon the Professional, and I've heard some people call it just The Professional. I've heard some people just call it Leon, but I've always called it the full title. But Luc Besson, who's obviously a troubled filmmaker, and still, though, great performances from Natalie Portman, who was like 13 years old at the time. Gary Oldman is unhinged. He goes all for it, so I always appreciate that for him, and Jean Reno as the main character. And this is a film where, obviously you don't have to remake it, but there's still story to be told, because obviously Matilda is still alive at the end of the film. So I would love to see, how she grew up, and yeah, see a sequel to this. as with Natalie Portman being, all grown up. Now we have Ed Wood, which is another Tim Burton and Johnny Depp collaboration. And as you can see here, it won 2 Academy Awards. But I feel like a lot of the mainstream audience doesn't appreciate this film. It's shot in black and white. A lot of people might not know anything about Ed Wood. Obviously, he did so many bad or low budget films, most notably Plan 9 from Outer Space and The Sinister Urge. But give this one a chance if you love Johnny Depp, if you love, I mean, Bill Murray's in it as well. Martin Landau gives a great performance as Bela Lugosi too. Now we have what most people consider to be Quentin Tarantino's best film, and that is Pulp Fiction. Of course, we got Uma Thurman on the front. I wish this cover wasn't in black and white. It had a little bit more red and yellow like it does on the original theatrical poster. But of course, so many people in the film, and just Quentin's magnum opus. He really liked to mess with the audience. You never knew what was going to happen next. I wish I could go into the theater in 1994 and experience this for the first time. Next up we have here is Die Hard with a Vengeance, and to me, this is my second favorite in the franchise. I do like it more than Die Hard 2. You get to explore the whole city of New York. You're not beholden to one location, and then of course you have Samuel L. Jackson and Jeremy Irons in it as well. All I'm saying about this next one is release the Schumacher cut. I think that they're playing it in theaters or something. I don't know if that's a rumor or not, but we need to see that with our own eyes. 2.5 hours of cut of Batman Forever. Now, we definitely need a 4K of Pocahontas for 2 reasons. 1, because we don't have a 4K already. And 2, I hate when Disney or other studios put 2 movies together. We don't need Pocahontas 2. We just want the original. So, yeah, it bothers me looking at the 2 movie collection. And of course, they're only on 1 disc too. So now we have Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers, and of course we have Paul Rudd's strange performance in here, but he did the best with what he can, the direction he was given. And then we have the theatrical artwork there as well. But when Scream Factory released this, it was so cool that they did the theatrical cut and the producer's cut on both on 4K discs. I am a theatrical cut person, but I'm glad that they did it for this release. All right, now this one may take me a little while to find, but of course we're going to talk about Pierce Brosnan's first and best performance in a James Bond film, and that is GoldenEye. Go ahead and find the disc real quick right here. Definitely his best movie, and great song by Tina Turner as well. You've Got a Friend in Me with Toy Story. And of course, this was Pixar's first film and the first overall fully digitized computer animated film, which was obviously revolutionary at the time, but just classic characters, Woody, Buzz, and the rest of the gang. Now we have Casino, and of course we got a good performance by De Niro and Pesci. For me, I have to go back and watch this. Anytime I want to see a 90s mob movie, of course I go to the other pairing of Scorsese, De Niro, and Pesci, which is Goodfellas. But yeah, I got to go back and rewatch this. I know there's some other good characters in here as well, with I think Don Rickles and like James Woods are in the film. So I definitely need a rewatch. This film doesn't get a lot of love. I feel like it gets buried under the barrage of 90s action movies, but it's a pretty fun time, just a cheesy 90s action film. And if anyone knows the AC/DC song of the same name, that's a good song as well. So with Heat, this was the first time that we got to see Pacino and De Niro on screen together. Of course, they were both in The Godfather Part 2, but they weren't on screen together. So this was a pivotal role to see both of them, and such a great bank heist film. And Val Kilmer has a great performance as well. Rest in peace to him. Now, since this came out before Scream, this is the first pairing of Neve Campbell and Skeet Ulrich on the screen together. And I love the tagline, "Welcome to the Witching Hour." I don't know why Scream Factory didn't do reversible cover art, because they had a really cool, on the Blu-ray, the reversible cover art was so cool. And of course, I love that scene. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Definitely an underrated film. Every 90s baby is required to have this in their home, and that is Space Jam. Just such a great sports comedy film. I wish the slipcover was the original theatrical artwork with Michael Jordan on the side, and then the rest of the Looney Tunes in the ring. But go ahead and it looks gorgeous on 4K with even though that it's a cartoon. But I do love it's like an orange, actually kind of like a darker orange. I don't know if the camera's getting it off. Color on the 4K, and then the Blu-ray is black, but it has these little speckles, so it looks like space. Have you all gone to your local Spirit Halloweens and seen that they have a like a 6 foot, like $400 alien Martian animatronic? That thing is absolutely insane. I can't believe in 2025 that we have that. But of course, we have Mars Attacks and huge cast in here: Pierce Brosnan, Danny DeVito. This one doesn't get as many miles as other Tim Burton films. It's okay to me. It's nothing harmful, but nothing amazing. Shockingly, when doing my research in this video, Scream actually came out in December 20th. I don't know why, and obviously it did absolutely incredible. One of the best slashers of all time, but just a weird time to release it. I have a video on YouTube that goes in super detail. It's one of my favorite films, and please, if you get a chance, go watch that because I'm probably the most proud of that video out of all my other videos. All right, so real quick before this next one, little story time. I ran out of space on my MacBook. It's old, it's like 8 or 9 years old. And so for the rest of these, to keep the video down and for me to be able to process it and download it and upload it to YouTube, I just have to show off the physical media releases and not talk about them too quick. So without further ado, we have Good Will Hunting. Donnie Brasco. Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. The Fifth Element. Hercules. Batman and Robin. Face Off. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Scream 2. And Tomorrow Never Dies. Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero. In 1998 and 1999 are tied for the most amount of movies with 14. Wild Things. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, The Truman Show, Mulan, Saving Private Ryan, Halloween H2O, Blade, Rush Hour, Bride of Chucky, The Waterboy, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, The Rugrats movie, The Faculty, Varsity Blues, The Boondock Saints, The Matrix, The Mummy, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Tarzan. Big Daddy. American Pie. The Sixth Sense. Fight Club. The World Is Not Enough. Sleepy Hollow. Toy Story 2. All right, I've got a question for everyone. What was your favorite action movie of the 90s? Go ahead and drop that in the comment section below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check me out on Instagram at MovieMagic1996. Thank you so much for everything, and go watch a movie today.